Hello friends, this is your Professor Gabriel Said Reynolds speaking to you from my office at the University of Notre Dame. In this brief video, I'd like to update you on the progress of our course, discuss a couple of the issues that have come up in our forum for the course, and also to give you a preview of what's coming up in week 3, which by the way, is going to be simply great. Overall, I'd like to emphasize how happy I am about the progress of our course. We have about 8,000 students now. New students are still adding the course every day, and we've had a great amount of positive feedback. There's an enormous amount of excitement about the course that comes through in the forum and our other sort of correspondence with students, and I'm really grateful for that. Thank you. Okay, what about the two issues that have come up in the forum? Issue number 1 is the question of authorship. The question of who is the author of the Quran? And here it's important to underline that for Muslims, the author of the Quran is simply God. Indeed, when a Muslim will quote from the Quran or describe something in the Quran, traditionally they won't say Muhammad said or the Quran says. They will simply say God said. So God is the author of the Quran. The book, the Quran, came from heaven to earth and is all the words of God. That's important to emphasize. At the same time, it's important also to emphasize that academic scholars have a number of different perspectives on the authorship of the Quran. So those who treat the text historically have different explanations for how this text came to be. Some of them, of course, and this tends to mark an older generation of Orientalists, would simply say Muhammad is the author of the Quran. Today, a number of academic scholars say that the origins of the Quran are more complicated, that there was a number of different hands involved in this work, maybe a number of different editors, maybe different layers of redaction, and therefore there are a diversity of academic views over the authorship. And as this course principally is meant to give you academic perspectives on the Quran, I'll try to share with you some of that diversity of views so you see a number of different perspectives on authorship. The second issue that's come up in the forum is the question of the translation we're using for this course. As you know, we're using the Clear Quran by Talal Itani. He's our translator. We've chosen this translation for two reasons. First of all, because as the title suggests, it's clear. It's written in clear English, not in some fancy or antiquated English that will be difficult to understand. And secondarily, or for the second reason, is because it preserves the standard perspective of Islamic tradition on the text. So our students will be able to see how Muslims generally understand the text. At the same time, I might draw your attention to a document which is in the course info section of our course, which presents, the document is entitled Reading the Quran for the First Time. It presents some introductory remarks on how to read the Quran, how to understand the Quran. But at the end of that document, I also have a suggestion for those who are interested in a more academic translation of the Quran, namely the translation of A.J. Droge. That's an excellent work which has detailed scholarly footnotes. Another translation that I like is by Tarif Khalidi, which is distinguished by the eloquence of his English in his translation of the Quran. And that's published by Penguin. So that's another option for you. Friends, generally, I'd like to encourage you to keep being engaged. Stay with us. There's lots of interesting stuff that's coming up in week 3 and the weeks after that. In your posts on the forum, I'd like to encourage you to remember that the more you stick to the videos, the content of the videos, and the content of the readings, the better we'll be able to respond to your posts. Some people have been doing a terrific job of this. Some of them have been acting almost as teachers in the course. And I'd like to identify in particular one poster who has the name Allah Isaac, A-L-A-A, maybe Allah, A-L-A-A-I-S-A-A-C. He's had a number of interesting posts, so shout out to Allah Isaac. Thank you for that. There's one post in particular that caught my attention where he discusses the reason for the Quran's use of the plural when it has God speaking. Why does the Quran have God speak with we and not I? And Allah Isaac says, the Quran does this, quote, to express power, authority, and majesty of the speaker, end quote. That's excellent, right on. I couldn't have said it better myself. So I'm grateful for that and for all of the other excellent posts. Friends, week 3 is going to be terrific. We have 2 videos that come up. One of those videos is really special. It's an interview with my colleague here at Notre Dame, Dr. Ibrahim Musa, author of a recent book on the madrasa and a real star in the world of Islamic studies. So that's going to be really special. Let me also remind you finally that the course is still open. Even though we're moving on to week 3, those who join the course now can still do week 1 and week 2 and catch up with us and continue with the rest of the course. So please spread the news about this course. Let everyone know, your friends, family, your neighbors, everyone you know, spread the word. It's going to be great. We have a lot of terrific stuff coming up, and I'm grateful that you're with us in this journey of exploring the Quran.